Hi, you're watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel. There's a new operating system for Zynthian 5 on the horizon and it's called Vangelis. So today I'll take a first look at this and see if I can play Vangelis on Vangelis. And if you think that's a good video idea, please join me for the next minutes. Here we go. Okay, so this is Zynthian Vangelis running on version 5 hardware. This is a preview release of the new operating system. It's not meant to be installed on live production hardware. Don't do that, okay? You have been warned. That being said, I will try to create Vangelis Chariots of Fire from memory on this new operating system version here. So, let's start. Let's press the admin button here on the mixer screen and you can see we have a new chain display here. Remember, chains are the signal flow on one track on Zynthian. So you can press this button here now and let's insert a new chain. And you can see we have much nicer instrument and effects selection screen now. This is so great. Let's choose a new instrument for starters. Chariots of Fire begins with a simple saw wave pluck playing 8th or 16th notes. So I'm going to use MDA JX10 here as a plugin synth, a virtual analog one. Press OK and assign it to channel 1 and here we go. I'm going to use the default sound and I can play this on my keyboard. Okay, this doesn't sound quite right, so I'm going to adjust it a bit. No sustain. A little bit more, a little bit less decay and release. Much better. Let's also adjust the filter. I think that's close enough. Okay, you can already see we have this nice graphical display of envelopes here, and these new displays are all over this operating system now, and this once again is a big step forward in usability. Let's go to the pattern editor now. This has been redesigned as well. There used to be a clip launcher here. Now we will have a list of all the patterns that reside in one track. You can still trigger them using the 4th encoder or just by tapping on the screen. But first we're going to add some notes here. So, Chariots of Fire begins with notes on D. Let's insert some notes here. And now we can listen to this. Press pad and then press play. By the way, the tempo is 68 beats per minute. Alright, let's continue with the chords. Okay, let's add the chords. So, on the original songs there were some, I think, bandpass filtered, very thin sounding strings. I'll take a bit of creative freedom here and add a pad sound. So, let's press admin, then here, and then insert new chain instrument, and choose the OBXD plugin. Put it on channel 2. Now we'll select a preset patch and we'll use the low strings here. Sounds like this. Now I will scroll all the way down here in the functions all the way to the filter and adjust this just a little bit. So the filter depth. And let's also enable all of this. I want to add a big reverb to this because we're in 2026, alright? So let's go back to the mix level, then hold our finger here, push here, and then we can add an audio processor. Now we can move on this screen to the reverb and choose the TAL Reverb 3. I'm going to use the big effects plate here. Now I'm going to adjust the room size just a little bit like this. And now we've got this sound, which is much more pleasing, I think. We will add another sequence here on track 2 on the first slot. So press pad twice and you hear. You can see I've already added notes here. Let's listen to this. Now I can start playback of the first sequence. What I did in this pattern here is you can press the admin button while in the piano roll, and then you can adjust the length of the pattern. And you see I have created 2 bars here, so we can have a little bit more space for that minimal chord progression there. Okay, next that snare-like sound. This almost certainly is no snare, but a synthesizer that's playing a burst of noise there. So let's add another synthesizer, add a new chain instrument, and I'm going to use Noisemaker here, because Noisemaker can literally make noise. On channel 3, we'll skip the preset selection screen here, and instead of that, we'll just edit the sound ourselves. Go to the oscillator waveform screen here, and then we'll change this to noise, and then we'll also go to the mixer screen. Here we'll dial down the sub-oscillator level. Now we have a clean burst of noise there. And now we'll just adjust the amplitude envelope, so fast attack, relatively quick decay, no sustain, a little bit of release perhaps. Could be a little bit longer. Alright, should be enough. Next thing is we want to add a delay effect to this. It's nice to have this directly in the synthesizer, so let's dial up the wet amount here. Now we want to adjust the feedback so that we can hear this 3 or 4 times. Like this. Okay, now we're going to the pad again, and we'll just edit this and enter a note here. Now let's listen to this. And now we can adjust the feedback until it's just right. I think that's okay. Right, now let's add the piano. So once again go to admin, then push tab here, then tap insert new chain, new instrument, and then use the cursor keys here to go to the piano section. Let's use piano tag on channel 4. We want to have a very crystal clear piano sound here, so Steinway it is. Alright, and everything we want to do first here is to record a deep bass note. So just enter this pad editor here, and then let's just add a note. I could record it manually, but I'll just insert it into my piano roll here. So let's add a note here on D and another one here. One thing you can see here, the piano roll now can actively go to wherever a note is played, which is so much more helpful than the previous version. See, now we'll just edit these notes and increase their length a bit. So move the cursor here and then hold down the 4th encoder. Now we can adjust the duration here using the 3rd encoder, and we'll go here. 16 steps, okay. Here as well, 16 steps. So, let's listen to this. In unison. Nice. Next is that CS80 brass sound, and Vangelis loved his Yamaha CS80. You can see it in the official video to this song. I found a patch that somewhat resembles this. It sounds a bit more plasticky, but what can you do? Once again, add a new chain, add a new instrument, and go back to the synthesizer screen. Then let's use OBXD once again on channel 5 now. We'll use the Blade Runner brass pad. It's close enough, though it's a little bit more plasticky, as I said. Let's go back to the pad editor here. Press the admin button, then increase the length of the sequence to 2 bars. Okay, let's increase the epicness of this sound a little bit by adding reverb once again. So, add an audio processor, then go back to reverb, and let's use this once again. And now let's hear it all together. Yeah, I think the timing of that brass patch is off, so I'll correct this and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now I can just record the main theme into an empty pattern by pressing record and play after choosing an empty pattern. Here we go. And now all that remains to do is to record the counterpart, the other theme that answers to the first theme, and then we should be able to play back the whole song just tapping some patterns here on the new patterns screen. Okay, so now I've finished all my patterns and you can see them lined up here, and now I can try to perform this, if you can speak of performance here. So what I can do now is tap these patterns to trigger them, and each measure of music I have a chance to switch to another pattern, and then Zynthian will play to the end of the measure and then start with the new pattern. So I need to be a bit careful about the timing, tapping these and actually hitting these. The screen is quite small there, and at the moment I can't zoom in here. Okay, let's try this. Wish me luck. I'll start with the simple saw wave. Now I can add this one. And now I need to be quick to trigger all of these at once. Okay, managed to do that. Now I can let this run for 2 measures. Okay, something like this. This was a first impression of Zynthian Vangelis. You see, it's got the sounds, but still the sequencer needs work. I'd like to have rubber bands here to select multiple notes and to just move them around on this grid. You can take a look at MPC and how it handles this with a touch screen. Could be a source of inspiration for further developments here. Yep, and that's it for today. Chariots of Fire played on Zynthian Vangelis. And if you think that was a good YouTube video, please do the YouTube thing. You can also support me financially on Patreon or by becoming a channel member or making a one-time donation using the Super Thanks button. Of course, none of this is mandatory, but highly appreciated anyway. As always, thanks for watching and see you again next week. Bye bye.